So, what are we working on today?
Today, mostly, I got a concept, everything
Okay.
else right, and I just want you to read over it, see if my MLA format, if I have any problem with it, and see my grammar.
Okay. So this is, what kind of paper is
It's
this?
augmented.
Okay.
All the time, I just don't know how to log you to, but I got so many calls.
Okay, good. So this is for your instructors, Miss Salter, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is due
Today.
today. Okay, good.
Because I already kind of fixed most of the errors and
Right.
common grading as well, or twice
Okay.
already, and kind of.
Okay,
and I
good
just
deal.
want
So you mainly want to just kind of read over it to make sure that.
that no small mistake in there that's
Okay.
unseen.
Okay, good deal. So what I'll do, and this will probably be something that you can use outside of the session too when we get finished, but we'll kind of look at it together, but I want to kind of read it aloud so that we can catch things like that.
Yes, sir. Because I did that one time myself already,
Mhm.
and I caught some small
Yeah.
errors,
Oh, that's
here's and
good.
there's, but
That's good.
I wasn't comfortable with myself just doing
Right.
that by myself. So I
Right.
was somebody
Oh,
else.
I understand. So why don't you read it for me?
Okay.
And I'm gonna take some notes if that's okay while you're reading.
Okay.
And then I may stop you
Okay.
while you're reading it, but we'll try to get through as much of it as we can,
Okay.
and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So I'm going to be listening for those errors that kind of pop out, that kind of make me pause a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be really listening for things like content, right? Because we want to make sure that everything's flowing correctly.
Yes, sir.
And that your ideas are coming across first.
Yes, sir.
And then we can work on some smaller
Yes, sir.
things. Okay, so just go ahead and read it, and I'll
Okay.
take some notes.
The United States of America is a great place to live. It is one of the world's wealthiest countries. However, it is a young country that has only been established such a system of government. The United States is a great place to live for its citizens, both mentally and physically.
Okay, cool. That's very interesting. So, did you catch anything, or did you feel anything that stood out to you as you read?
As I read, I stopped at some portion of it that
Uh-huh.
I can't remember, but it's kind of like when I read it, it's kind of like weird when I read it, but I get the meaning of it though.
Okay.
I think I get the meaning of it because
Yeah.
I write the essay, but the wording of it is kind of catching me a little bit
Okay.
awkwardness within the
Yeah.
essay.
Okay.
That's what happened.
So, if you can set yourself aside as the writer
Mhm.
for now, and tell me as a reader what you think the ultimate meaning is of this piece. What would you, just in a
Okay.
single sentence, what would you say as a reader this means to you?
This, as a reader, I
Mhm.
feel the author's purpose of persuading
Mhm.
the United States is a great place to live.
Okay.
The author use very little logos, which is
Okay.
statistic. He have mentioned about 22% of the federal budget, and he converts some paper in there with as an immigrant and
Okay.
and
Good.
his credibility has been established.
Okay.
Having established in the text when he mentioned the all those background information in the
Mhm.
United States, and he put himself in the story. That's what I
Right.
think.
Okay.
Overall, I give the meaning of it to persuade because I feel that federal support is a great offer, and he used comparison to show to show the difference of the country and how well United
Right.
States do.
Okay, good. So you feel like, in this class you've probably analyzed ethos, logos, pathos,
Yes,
right,
sir.
before. So it's awesome that you can take that and apply it to yourself.
Mhm.
Because ultimately I think that's one of the reasons that you learn it, so that you can apply it to
Yes,
your own
sir.
writing a lot of times. So I think your goal, since this is an argumentative paper, what is your ultimate goal for the assignment?
Persuade the audience to believe what I believe as an author, that United States is a greater country compared to others.
Okay.
If this United should be one of the top choice if they choose to live.
Okay, so the basic goal is, okay, the United States is an awesome place to live for these reasons, right?
Yes.
And you list those in your thesis.
Yes, sir.
Because you have federal support, security, and then freedoms, right? And I think that's really good. So the only thing that I'll talk about, and I think it would be better that we start talking about these bigger things first, right? Things about content-wise, before we move on to those little details.
Yes, sir.
So, in your first paragraph, your first body paragraph, you start out talking about the federal support programs.
Yes, sir.
And you do a good job.
Because it's kind of weird. This says, when I first read it, I think it's the author, when I write it, it's kind of like sound pretty good. But when it's a reader, I kind of read it, it kind of give me a ambiguity within it. It's kind of like you transfer automatically to yourself.
Right.
So but I don't know how to
I mean, I feel like that it almost builds a better argument that you're pulling from your own experience. But something that I might suggest doing, and this is totally optional, but I wonder what you think about putting, kind of introducing yourself as a Chinese immigrant in the introduction. Do you feel like that would, that might make it seem less choppy here? Because you're saying, that you're analyzing, the federal support that the United States, and then you just say, okay, as a Chinese immigrant, these things. You see what I mean? So I wonder how you'd feel about briefly introducing yourself here, because you do use your experience throughout.
So I can say, okay. You have gone for many immigrants, such as me, come from a different country, have received those support from the government, because I mentioned about government aid program up here, so I can use myself.
Yeah, and and you could just add a sentence, right? So maybe before your thesis or somewhere in your introduction, you could just make a statement, right? As a Chinese immigrant, this is important. This is my home. This is an important
experience.
Yeah, and this is the United States is important to me. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Because I think by doing that, when you kind of mention your experiences throughout, they won't seem just arbitrary, right? They'll seem like, okay, we know this guy, right? He's introduced himself in the introduction. So think about.
I can just, the government run by the people and everyone has a right to run office. I can do it. Immigrants come from different countries, such as me, come from China, have experienced benefits from this country.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. I mean, what do you think that makes a little bit more sense?
Yeah, that kind of establishes myself as an immigrant.
Exactly.
So.